Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. So here's what today's question is. What's the difference between a narcissist and a jerk? I must say that I think on this channel we have circled the drain on this question in more than a few videos. But the question keeps coming up in emails and comments and all that. So I think we might just need to make the answer a little more explicit. Like I said, the question's coming up more and more. I have a suspicion, though I know why so many people are asking this question. I think sometimes people are afraid of making a big decision about their difficult relationship, especially a decision that may have far-reaching ramifications, and they just want to be confident that they're making their decision about this narcissistic or maybe not narcissistic person in an informed way. The thinking is maybe if this person's just a jerk, then maybe this relationship may be more manageable than if you are dealing with someone who is narcissistic, right? Big word. But people may feel that if they leave a relationship or a job with a jerk, maybe they're being a little bit too reactive. But if they're leaving a relationship or a job with a narcissist, they might feel a bit more resolved and have more conviction about that kind of a decision. So let's ask the question, what's the difference? I'm going to start us off with a very easy way to think about this, an easy rule. All narcissists are jerks. Not all jerks are narcissistic. So how does that work? It comes down to some very basic structural issues that differentiate narcissism and jerkism. Things called pervasiveness, stability, consistency, severity, and impact. Big smarty words for such a distinction, but it's true. So let's break this down. Narcissism is a personality style, and our personalities are stable. Agreeable people, personality style, right? Agreeable people tend to be agreeable everywhere. As an example, they're agreeable with their family, with friends, a clerk in the store, at work. They're just agreeable. Things tend to flow off an agreeable person's back. They tend to be friendly and warm and flexible and kind in all situations. It's stable, it's pervasive, right? Maybe if somebody really cornered them or they were really sleep deprived, maybe then they'd get a little grumped out. But on average, agreeable people are nice. So that gets at this idea of when something's pervasive and stable. On the other hand, narcissistic people, kind of the opposite of agreeable, narcissistic people are narcissistic across situations. And they're always like this. They're always invalidating. They're always superficial. They're always validation seeking. And they're always manipulative. But you're saying, no, 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 Dr. Ramani, no, they're not. They're able to put on a mask and look good to the world or to the people that they want to look good to, and they're awful to me or to other people that they don't value. Yeah, they may be able to be sort of different in how they present themselves, but their personalities are stable. The core of narcissism is validation seeking, and validation seeking happens by winning over other people that they need or that they value. Narcissistic people are often out to get the easy, superficial validation of people that are new and that they want to win over, or people who have power or fame or whatever, cachet. And the folks that are already in their lives, like their family members or their partners, narcissists tend to be a little bit dismissive of them. That's why they probably treat you so badly. But if those new shiny people, honestly, if those new shiny people, they're trying to get their admiration, if they stuck around long enough, they'd be treated badly too. So that's why a narcissistic person is able to go to a party or an event and just be charming and charismatic, and people think they're just so great. They're able to do that because they're getting a lot of quick validation by that group. Another form of validation for them is domination. That's why they yell at you and insult you. So it's a different kind of validation, but that's the domination piece. All of that being charming and stuff, well, that's pretty exhausting for them. So how do they manage that? They regulate by yelling at you. To my point, they are pervasively and stably always seeking validation and always using other people to regulate themselves. Narcissism may feel inconsistent, but it is actually pretty consistent. The narcissistic person's end game, typically is domination and validation, it's the same. Their end game never changes. They just use people in different ways to get to that end game. Now, being a jerk or jerkiness without narcissism is not as pervasive and it's not as stable. Pure jerkiness tends to be a bit more kind of circumscribed or cordoned off. Jerkiness is often a manifestation of emotional immaturity, low-grade oppositionality, an inappropriate and mean-spirited sense of humor or practical jokes as a way to get attention, and at times public rudeness, like just being rude to people out in the world. Jerks invariably have a certain social awkwardness to them. So their jokes, barbs, tantrums, and immature shenanigans are an expression of that awkwardness, or they're a defense against their social awkwardness. But I get it. You're still thinking, I can see you at home thinking this. You're saying, this still sounds similar to narcissism, Dr. Ramani. Jerks know their different spaces. Jerks may be a jerk at the bar, at the pub, about a football game, a jerk in one space. But they can actually be relatively functional people who play by the rules in other places. A pure jerk, without any of the narcissism, may not be driven by power or domination or validation in all spaces. But in certain spaces, their adolescent self is always on. I don't know, the long-standing college or high school football rivalry, or the pool table, or in a large group when they want attention. And in those settings, you may look at the jerk and you may say, ugh, he's a total ass about his football team or the game, or he's just such a sore loser. But he's actually a good guy. Really empathic, is consistent, good parent, actually a really good partner, has a good person to work for. So jerks can be ungracious winners, ungracious losers. But when, for example, the game isn't on, their little immature space isn't there, they can actually be normal and decent people. So this takes us to another distinction between jerks and narcissists. Jerks typically will respond in a normal manner to feedback. So for example, if someone were to take a jerk aside and say, yo, it's not cool. That stuff you're saying and doing, it's not so good. You're kind of hurting people, or buddy, we lost business and it's making those other people uncomfortable. Interestingly, jerks, when they get that feedback, they'll be kind of contrite and they'll sort of feel bad and sort of own it. They might apologize or know that they went too far and they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. And a jerk has a pretty good likelihood of changing their behavior. They may not tell the jokes anymore. They may genuinely apologize. They may still be a little socially awkward, but you really see that they're making an earnest effort at cleaning up their act and apologizing if they get it wrong. A narcissist, forget about it. You give them feedback, you better have some sort of shield on you, because you're going to get a reactive, shame-driven, adult tantrum rage fest. And then you'll get some gaslighting, some contempt, and then more rage. If you do get that long shot of getting an apology from them, it will be for them to save face and not out of a genuine sense of contrition or feeling like they did the wrong thing. And they will almost never, ever change their behavior. Now, the next issue about this difference between jerks and narcissists comes down to severity and to impact. The narcissistic person's bad behavior is not only more pervasive and consistent, but it's also more damaging and hurtful. Narcissistic people tend to lie, to coerce, to menace, to manipulate, to gaslight, to control people through rage, to cheat, to betray. This is big ticket hurtful stuff. Jerks, not always so mean. They may tell a mean joke, but jerks don't tend to be menacing or scary or even that manipulative. Jerks are childish and they say stupid things. They may even be rude to a server, like for example in a restaurant or a service person, but it's more of an inappropriate, demanding, immature thing, but not a scary, mean thing. Again, with that jerk, you take the jerk aside and tell them, lighten up. You are making everyone uncomfortable with your behavior. They will often look like a chastened child and may even apologize. The narcissistic person, when they are taken aside, will rage, act scary, rage, yell, rage, insult. You get it. You've been there. Now, this whole narcissism jerk thing is a bit of a Venn diagram, these sort of partially overlapping circles. Personally, I think really high-end, maybe more severe jerkiness looks like low-end narcissism. Annoying, immature, sort of transiently harassy, and even hurtful. Jerks, no doubt, they're unpleasant to be around. I am by no means a jerk advocate. However, they can be consistently empathic in certain situations. Their jerkiness can be pretty time and situation limited, and they do respond to feedback. If you are experiencing the angry reactivity, gaslighting, manipulation, eggshell walking, betrayals, that's probably a narcissist. If it's immature, stunted, childish, I won't empty the dishwasher, acting like a teenager and tell stupid jokes and snap your finger at the server or the bartender, that's a jerk. But at other times, especially private times, one-on-one, or a real important moment, they're just nice people and you're never scared of them. If you can take the jerk aside and have a chat with them, and they actually make a good faith effort to switch their behavior up, then that's your jerk confirmation. They're probably not a narcissist. Now, the word jerk is dangerous because it is often used by enablers to soft pedal on the narcissists. Jerks are a nuisance, and they're not easy to work with or to be in a relationship with, but they don't do damage to your mental health. But when a narcissist is mistakenly framed as just being a jerk, we are more likely to justify their behavior, get stuck in relationships with them, make excuses for them, and then not set the boundaries or take the action that we need to protect ourselves. Just remember the golden rule. All narcissists are jerks, but not all jerks are narcissists. None of this behavior is pleasant, but I do think it's important to understand the distinction between someone who's a narcissist versus someone who's a jerk. So you can understand that somebody's engaging in foul-mouthed, ridiculous jokes, maybe annoying, but can't do sort of the psychological number on you that a narcissist can do. I hope you liked this video. If you did, just give us that thumbs up. Please, if you're new to this channel, subscribe, join this channel, and I hope it gives you a place to learn everything you want to know about narcissism and narcissistic abuse.